In this layout tutorial, I am going to explain the difference between the files we place in our uploads, the SASS files, and the global CSS. I will be demonstrating these concepts on our Justice template created in the layout. In our Uploads versus Directory Files video, we talked about the Uploads tab of our admin page. As a quick review, when you upload a file in Uploads, you can choose what kind of file it is, which will allow Layout to link it correctly within the HTML. You can also choose whether the file is global or not. If the file is global, then it applies to every page throughout the site. The files we place in Uploads can be thought of as our library files. These are larger files that we generally won't be editing. Since we don't generally intend to edit these files, we can choose to upload the minimized version of the file, especially if it is particularly large. This is true for JS files as well. We also have the ability to utilize SASS files. This is great because it allows us to use variables that help us make site-wide changes quickly, and the SASS structure keeps things more organized. One major difference between files we find in Uploads and files we keep in SASS is how specific they are to this particular website. You see, at Trolley Web, we provide website templates for our clients to choose from. The Justice template we are currently looking at is just one of the many templates that clients can choose from. These templates provide a starting point for us to build off of. Files that you see in Uploads are not site-specific or even template-specific. You will see these same files on most of the Trolley Web templates and websites. They include files like the Bootstrap Extend CSS file. This defines some shortcut Bootstrap classes for us to use while building. This file is not specific to this template or this website. The SASS files, however, are files specifically defining the styles of this template. While the uploads may look very similar between the different templates, you will notice that they have different SASS files. These are the SASS files for our Justice template, and these are the SASS files for our Expo template. For these files to work, we need a SASS parser, or our main.css file. This file also needs to be marked as global, which we indicate by checking this box here. We will also see this file in our Uploads, and another place for us to mark it as global or apply to the entire site. To add a new SASS file, you can either upload a file or create a file and place it in a directory. After the file is created, we can edit the content of it, then I can press Save and Compile. If a client chooses this template, we can clone it and get to work tailoring it to their needs. We will have to make changes based on their color and typography choices. These can easily be changed site-wide by changing the variables in our variables file. We can also change the variables in our buttons file. Those are really the only SASS files that we should have to edit with each new website. All other changes that we want to make for a specific website will be made in our global CSS found under the Settings tab. Our global CSS is where we define styles for this specific website. In our global CSS, we can link to our SASS files, like our variables file, so that we can use the variable names throughout. By keeping the template styles in our SASS files and our website-specific styles in our global CSS, we can keep our global CSS as short and organized as possible. When adding to the global, it is also best practice to use comments to organize the information. You can see here that I have also grouped the CSS and media queries by page, which makes it way easier to find later on. When you are done adding to the global CSS, you press Update at the top. Anything saved in the global CSS is parsed and minimized immediately upon pressing this Update button. There is one final place where you might want to put CSS. If you go to Settings and Code Tools on any page of the website, you will see Page CSS. This is where you can define CSS for this specific page. This is an option, though it tends to be easier to find things if everything is in the global CSS organized by page.